Hello, YouTubers. Joe and Paul here on Saturday, November 29th, 2014 at 18:09 in the evening, Eastern Time. Now, that would be actually,
6:10.
well, no, add 5, so 18 plus 23:09 Greenwich Mean Time. Now, I mean, here's a little question to Dan in Australia. Uh, I have the sense from my Living Earth HD that y'all have gone into some sort of radical daylight savings time regime over there.
That's a bit.
Oh, and it was like 2 hours. I mean, like they've always been 14 hours ahead of us, but there's like the other evening it was like 16 hours ahead of us. I'm thinking, what the hell? And so, well, of course they're moving, and presumably they're going to be established in their new place here this coming.
Okay, and they're coming on the spring and stuff, and that would fit.
Well, yeah, no, they're right. They're getting they're getting ready to move into the high summer,
spring,
So yeah,
spring forward time.
Well, I mean, so
if they do that.
Yeah, so and there was a guy in South. Well, I don't know. I mean, it's in the Southern Hemisphere. They do that. There was a guy in South Africa was doing that. So, well, now what were we getting ready to talk about?
I was talking about how fat everybody was leaving the hotel for the football game.
All right. As it turns out, well, the people who were there for the game, fled the kingdom, and then I presumably they store their baggage or luggage somewhere when they go down to the football game, and then.
Well, they carry them like duffel bags and stuff.
Well, yeah.
In wardrobe bags.
You never know.
They did not pack in big suitcases.
Well, good. These little wheeled trolleys. I would love to. It's one of these things that you see these people dragging these wheeled trolleys around. The non-Christian in me would love to shove these people down the stew. They're dragging all this crap around.
And a lot of times it's not even that big.
No, it's not. No, it's not. You might have some little thing that's like, and you can hear the wheels go.
Here we go. Give me a moon. Give me a moon.
Well, while he goes off, allow me to expatiate. Oh, wait a minute.
I'm back.
I may be preempted.
See this?
Oh, wait a minute. Let me get this out of harm's way.
See this? Something this size. Only it has a pop handle, and it would have wheels on it.
Well, you'd almost have to be in a wheelchair to be able to, not be able to pull that, would you?
Or carry it.
Well, have it in your lap. I mean, strap it to your paralyzed lap.
I mean, a lot of times stuff this size.
That's.
It's what they drag.
It's very sad for these people. I've dealt with a lot of these people. It's very sad for them. They soldier on as best they can.
Like, come on, people. You can't be that damn weak.
Well,
you're going out. You're going to fold it, shove the handle down into the bag, then pick the bag up and put it into the vehicle. Well, if you can do that,
now, honey, you're going to queer my whole premise of winter wisdom here with my beard. Winter wisdom. The theme of this winter is winter wisdom.
Yeah, keep your butt warm.
Well, in addition to other things, and tomorrow, not tomorrow. No, tomorrow is November 30th, St. Andrew's Day. God bless St. Andrew. The first call. Come and see. But on December 1st, that was the very first day I made my very first YouTube video. And it's called, surprisingly, it's called JSK YouTube Video 1. And that was 536 videos ago. Wow, it's been a while, hasn't it? I mean, it's been, Paul's,
I can remember.
Paul's got to go to camp. I'm assuming that's where he's going into the camp. I don't know what he's going to do in the camp. He's going into the camp. Well, 62-year-old guys have to go to the camp, don't they? So. I watched this football game. Fine. Ohio State won. Fine. My son didn't come out. Fine. Fine. Paul came home fine, and that's great because it's always good to get him home safe. Indeed, indeed, indeed. Now I don't read tomorrow at church, but I certainly want to go to church because I want to eat the bread and drink the wine. John 6, guys, and this was an hard saying, and many people then left him, as it says there. It is. Just think about it. I'm waiting for him because he's got a couple of more stories to tell, actually. Yeah. You can edit it, yeah, but I don't know how to edit it, So if somebody wants to come over here to Columbus, Ohio, and show me how to edit this stuff, you're more welcome to fly in and instruct me. What do you think, sweet soul?
I'm back.
Before we started this, I was trying to kiss his cheek. Should we do that?
Sure, give me a kiss on the cheek. There we go.
Isn't that fun? Well, it was fun for me. Here, I'll do it again. He really tastes good. People taste differently. Different guys taste differently. He tastes good.
Yeah, they do.
Who was your favorite taste? See, I knew he'd go far field here. What?
Well, I have been with more than you have.
No, I understand. But before you met me, I mean, obviously, you had, push your mind back.
Oh, that would have been.
This will be good too.
DM guy.
Who?
Mark.
Oh, Mark. Oh, you're 12-year-old. Oh, you're 6th grade. Oh, yeah. Well, indeed. As I would have probably. Well, I can't recall having an olfactory experience with the fellow. When I was 14, that I was sucking off in my. My new my newly acquired bedroom, east bedroom at the house. In which my dad, into which my dad, peered at some point. But wow. Well, what I do remember is though when he would jack off, when I would go over to his house, and he would jack off, and blow all over his. See, I'm embarrassed.
Body.
I'm embarrassed.
It's called a body.
I'm embarrassed. Well, I was going to say belly and things, and
it's called a body.
Well, yeah, and I was amazed. Well, because honey, I wasn't able to do that yet. I wasn't able to quite. When I first jacked off. Here we go. We're getting down to it now, guys. When I first jacked off, I've got this on slides too. Well, not photographic slides, but microscopic slides. To see if I actually was putting out sperm. When I was finally able to jack off, of course, you have to wait for,
How young were you?
I was 13 and a half.
Oh. Okay.
And, of course, after that, then, it was like every damn day, First time I tasted my cum was,
would have been around 8th grade.
Well, when I was about 14 and somebody needed to get in the can while I was taking a dump and and doing other things. And so I just shot off into my hand and licked it off, Normally I tried to, tidy up, but, screw tidying up. Just do it, guys. Just
Well, it is tidying up.
Well, yeah, it certainly was.
And look at the paper you saved and helping save a tree for being wasted and useless.
I save trees. Well, I like to save trees, and sort of my attitude toward nature and trees. Well, before I go into this kind of almost reverie about things, speak to me, Paul. Tell me, help me.
We were talking about people leaving in this morning, headed for the football game when I first.
Well, I was talking about me.
I know, wagging off.
I was talking about me wagging off with the guy.
Well, we started talking.
Well, we talk about a lot of stuff, don't we? Oh, that's all right. Anyway, what there's really a point about it. Well, I mean, the thing is, you get, I was 13, 13 after, so first came out and all this, and I want to just review this for a moment, guys. I'm sorry. I'm going to pause this for a bit. Here. That's a perfect question to ask. Ask that question again, Paul.
Where are we starting off?
Well, from where we left off.
From.
Well,
where did we leave off from?
Well,
from what we were going to talk about in the first place.
we were talking about teenage guys jacking off and coming and now don't go flying off here. Well, what? There's something in your mind. Talk to me.
No. We were talking about the guests leaving.
Oh.
Around 7:38, reported at 8 this morning to head down for the football game.
I imagine if they were
carrying giant plates of food.
I imagine if there were teenage guys in there, they were those guys that just
no, they're all old.
Well, honey, look, I jack off about 3 times a day, and I'm 62 years old, so I can assure you that any of these guys that you see wandering by you, that even if they can't get it up because of various drugs they're taking, they're shooting off all over the place. Wait a minute. Let me reiterate that, folks, for YouTube. They are shooting off all over the place. And I imagine if you brought up the woods light, the UV light there in the bedroom, you would ascertain that.
Yeah, well, we just strip and replace everything.
Well, I know, you follow all the guidelines and this, and that's fine. But in reality, it doesn't really matter. Just get in bed and do it. Come on, don't be a wuss, don't be a weasel, don't be a...
Yeah, well, they are.
Well, people are nowadays. I mean, because they've been so browbeaten by the health Nazis, I
mean, the slightest thing. I mean, like even a fly flying around in the room.
Just deal with it. Just deal with it. Slap with a magazine or something. I mean, if you slap. Actually, there's a thing in Scotland here reported in the Daily Telegraph, which is a legitimate newspaper, by the way. About a week and a half back, this guy in Scotland, he and his wife were having this, fairly active discussion about, what they were going to watch on TV. And she took what their version of the TV guide is and rolled it up and whacked him on the head with it. And then what happened was the people next door in these, they wanted a detached house, and the person on the other side of their wall heard this, whack, and called the police, and they hauled this woman in for to the cells, as they say over there, and kept her there for 2 days before she could be properly arraigned. And and the guy kept saying, "No, it's no big deal. We're just pissing and moaning about what to watch on TV." And nonetheless, there was a complaint lodged, and so
from a neighbor.
Yeah, next door neighbor, and so off to the cell she went.
Semi-detached.
Yeah, and it's like, oh my word! Oh well, yeah, it's just ridiculous. I mean, this whole zero tolerance stuff is idiotic. I mean, it wasn't like she, went out and got his cricket bat and beat the hell out of him. It was like, she rolled up the TV guide and whacked him on the head once. He says she does this all the time when she gets pissed off at me. It's like, that's like married life. Well, I do love the British, but I'll tell you, there's a few things they need to get their head together about on that one. So, well, that I don't know, that was in Scotland, I think. Yeah, I think it was in Scotland.
Oh, they're just bad over here.
Oh, well, yes, they are. Oh, well, many, 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 many areas. Oh, yeah.
I mean, the slightest thing, fall over and get knocked down accidentally, and they think there's a big crime scene going on.
Well,
and the other side
and somebody's feelings get hurt.
And it usually turns out because a piece of furniture actually just fell over for some dumb reason.
It's called
like a grandkid.
It's called gravity. It's called gravity.
No, it's called a grandchild visiting the grandparent and grabbing hold of the edge of a freaking bookshelf.
Well,
and just yanking them for some dumb reason.
and
slamming it
well,
over
see now Paul brings up an interesting
and
class of things.
That Carter's never done that.
Well, Paul brings up an interesting class of absence because a fellow who actually taught me just a huge amount of stuff, John Vasco. God bless you, John Vasco. Rest in peace. He was a dentist, and then he went back to school, went to medical school, and when I was there, he was one of the premier thoracic cardiac surgeons, coronary artery surgeons. There were two guys that did, and they had two competing schools of thought about how to take care of people. Their patients, both of their patients did okay. It wasn't clearly, but it was like a lot of docs, they attract patients that are of their own temperament. Well, I'm going to get a little bit far afield here now, but when particularly, this is particularly noticeable in gynecologic docs. You have, certain personalities of women that deal with the personality of their physician, their gynecologist, their obstetrician. And I mean, it's pretty much exactly the same thing. If the guy's very straightforward, woman's very straightforward. The guy says, you're going to go into labor and you're going to hurt. Fine. She goes labor, she hurts. Fine. Then there's another guy that might say, well, you have to think about
what, allowing the wife to go into labor?
And then that patient would sort of say, oh, he was so wonderful because he let me sort of,
decide if I want to go into labor while giving birth to a child or not.
It's like, he didn't believe me for, and then you had other guys, that would say things like, well, the women would like it because the other guy, one guy was the other guy would just fire him if they he would fire his patients if they went against his wishes. But every now and again, you'd get one of these sort of like repentant patients.
So, somebody actually wanted to pay the bill?
Well, no, I haven't paid the bill. I just said be taken back, because this particular one guy was doing high risk of saying, oh, there was nowhere else to go. I had to apologize.
Is that the patient or the doctor?
That's the patient. No, this guy would apologize to God himself. Unless God, put his finger out there and went,
fried his ass.
Well, I don't know. God might not fry this guy's behind because, this guy's a really good doc. And he made him.
Yeah. Well,
he was the guy that we used to sit in the surgeon's lounge and talk about, driving around and having like a van that, had like, laparoscopy, where you could, have a laparoscopy van driving around and,
laparoscopy lab in the back of
very much like, remember,
size van.
it's like these dog grooming vans. We could have like laparoscopy vans, like dog grooming vans, riding around doing this. This guy had, he was like triple board. He had like a triple, he was OBGYN board. He was general practice. I'm sorry, well, that's the real way, but the official term is family practice board. And he was psychiatric boarded. So, this guy, we had the best fun carrying on together. Yeah. And he was he was good. When he
He was a good, funny guy.
well, and he was also a good doc. If he had to cut into you and do something, he did a good job.
Okay.
Well, but Paul hasn't heard very many stories about this guy. He's never been up here. He's never been a guest in our house, right? But he'd be more involved.
Hey, we saw us run downtown and.
Oh yeah, well no, we did. I think we did.
Friday night.
I think we did run into him a couple times.
Eat out, pig out, and have a.
I don't know. Was he at the sort of the round table there at the Christopher Inn? He might have been one night. It's hard to tell. Pretty much constant surgery thing.
I think he was.
Well, he might have been. It's, okay. So he tried almost gasping. Oh, golly. There's times you just have to. Well, don't mind. I'm roaming around and coughing here, guys. I want to kiss him again. Can I kiss him again? Can I kiss you again?
Sure.
Can I kiss him again, guys? Oh, he feels and smells so good. He really does. I miss him so fucking much. I really do. Let those with ears hear. Now I won't go into that, although I'd like to right now. What?
Now,
What? Sweet. I'm sorry.
are we going to get back to what?
Well,
where we were.
Well,
Ago.
steer me back.
Yeah, like everyone going to the football game and packing food out of the dining room of the hotel.
Oh, well, this is where
putting
it stopped, right?
Instead of buying stuff and having it already stocked up and ready to go for the tailgate party.
Now, Paul looks angry and
cleaned
hateful, but he shouldn't be.
They were cleaning out the dining room and everything. We were constantly running around and cooking food and going crazy.
We refer back to the previous thing. I'm sorry.
And constantly remaking all kinds of coffee and stuff. Because they were constantly sucking these things dry.
Ooh, sucking things dry now. I'm sorry.
And
no, go on.
they were trying to figure out, well, how are you going to carry all these things? One guy actually looked like, you go into some
You need a marsupial. Our friends in Australia will know about that. I'm sorry, honey. God bless you. Come on.
You go into some restaurants, and when you have a group of people, the waiter will come to you. Okay. Come to you, and the entire palm of the hand and up. It's lined with plates of food.
And it's really hot, too.
Right.
Well, the
Well,
winger and the food. I'm sorry. I can't help it. I can't
this
help it.
is
I can't
how
help
this is how the people planned on taking these plates of food out to the vehicle to head off for this dumb ball game.
Well, they had a bet down, as Merle would say.
Yeah, right. The bet was on how you gonna make it all the way out to the truck without spilling and slocking
God
all
bless
this
Merle.
crap.
God bless. You can't get a bet down in this town.
Save your damn life.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you bang yourself?
No, I got my finger caught.
Oh, was it a finger? I thought it was like your elbow. I thought I banged your elbow.
No, I caught my finger
No.
between
No.
armrests.
See, even I am not the one that becomes calm.
Oh! I Here we go, and this was the other topic.
Yes, and this
we
is
were gonna
actually
go with.
this is actually a serious topic, guys.
All right.
It is actually.
When I run out of what cigarettes I have.
Now, how many do you have left in that truck of yours, there, Paul?
No, it's in my coat pocket.
Well, how many do you have left?
I'll give you a count.
Let's just see. Oh, we may get a visual aid. I like visual aids.
All right, I have a
It's
whole
very
pack.
effective on the internet.
I have a whole pack with 20 in it. Plus, this is what's left from today. And there are 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Can I smell those?
Sure,
I do like to
snort
smell
the
them. I
tobacco.
do like to smell. I do like to smell it. Well, camels really do have good smelling tobacco. Man, it's not as good as I thought. I've smelled better.
Yeah. Anyway. When I'm done with those,
Yeah, let's get that up there so they can see that.
I'm gonna do this.
Well, God bless him, because that's a bastard.
And if you read all over the packaging thing, this is totally, if you do more than 10 a day, you wear one of the, and you make sure that you've totally stopped. And
Oh yeah, they said smoke all the things you've got left before you start to. So he's been smoking like mad.
no,
I know. I'm
I'm
a bit
I'm
foolish.
doing like a normal routine.
Oh, you really are.
Anyway,
Yeah, you really are. Yeah.
So
That's fun to see. I'm sorry, honey.
I'm
Come
gonna
on.
do this when I'm out of this pack and a half. I'm gonna start it. So, and this is supposed to be the big construction week at the hotel. And now it turns out they're not going to show up till around 10.
In the morning, or the
No.
10th of December.
10th.
Well, my feeling on this is, when you first told me this, is like, this ain't gonna get done until late February. And by that time, I think they're going to say, adios AML on that.
I mean, we got a ton of people coming in.
Well, hell, the people don't care about. I'll tell you, the people will care about if the thing's torn up. If the thing's torn up, the people care about it. But they won't care about it if, it isn't all automatically, magically looking more wonderful by you guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, I'm really not.
Don't drop a feather too hard on the floor during the night, because you will get a complaint. Trust me.
Feather.
A feather. I don't care. It can be as quiet as a funeral. And somebody's going to come up with a complaint.
I've never been at a quiet funeral, particularly your family. I'm sorry. You got cracking a beer in the wheelchair. I'm sorry. I just can't. I'm sorry. It just keeps coming. It just keeps coming. I'm sorry. Go on. Tell the people. I know. Talk. Override me.
Okay. As a normal family, without a bunch of psychos attacked onto the side of it, doing weird shit. Like my family, you didn't have people having a beer bash in the middle of the funeral.
I know. I mean, I've been to a lot of funerals, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I couldn't help. I can't help this shit. It's in my head.
I know.
If I were a football player, they could hit me in the head.
I mean, somebody complained the other night.
Where's Emery? Oh, I'm sorry.
Someone complained the other night because on her floor, the doors kept opening and closing.
Well, that's what they're supposed to do. I'm sorry. I walk into this, don't I? I'm sorry, honey. Go on. Just talk over me.
The problem was, we were full of kids. We were full of kids for some reason. And what it was...
people would scream. I'm sorry. You know it's going to happen. You know it's going to happen. Do it on your own channel, and then I'll shut up. I won't say anything. What
was going on? All these families are there, and they're all related to each other.
Oh,
we're all their cousins, nieces, and nephews.
Pakistani.
We're checking to see, okay, where we're going to run off and play at next in the building.
Quarter mile down the street.
No. So what they were doing is constantly opening. They're all on one floor, and they're constantly opening the doors and peeking out to see who's going to be able to.
I like peeking.
Who all is going to sneak away from their mom and dad and tear off and be on their own with a room key so they can get into anything in the building that they're not supposed to be.
Oh, that's always one. That's fun. That's fun.
Such as the business center and the fitness center
do they have business?
and the pool. No.
Well, some of these guys might have been hot.
No.
No.
We're talking 8-year-olds.
Oh well, no,
and younger.
No, that's not. No, this is not. It might be hot for this one fellow we know. He of the like 8 strands of hairs of beard. We all know who that is.
You don't go to the fitness room unless you're around 20 years of age and you have an appearance.
Well,
you don't go in the pool unless you're 14 years old and older.
I mean, I like 14-year-olds who are consenting.
Trust me.
Mark was certainly.
And they really get pissed. They really get pissed off, and the parents get pissed off because you make them leave those areas because they're not there with them. I mean, when somebody takes about 5 3-year-olds into the pool room and lets them jump into the pool, and then he takes off and goes hang out with a bunch of friends. Hey, I'm not going to be liable.
Well, you
those little birds.
Well, you actually might be liable.
Sink like a rock.
But you'd be the co-defendant with the
no.
Property.
I mean, there's a big plaque on the wall that says nobody under.
Well, it looks like it's very sunny and clear down there with Dan here. 79 degrees.
That's nice because they had that big kick.
Well, they're moving. They're moving.
They
I mean, they're moving. Like tomorrow, presumably they're going to be in their new house, their new place.
Yeah, when they had that big storm,
I do hope.
windstorm.
I
thing
do
the
hope.
other
I do
day.
hope that.
That brown snoot probably.
Well, I
gets
do hope he
solved.
sends us the address and things so I can. Well, of course, email works, but I'd
Right.
like, and then
Want to ship them a package.
Well, I'd like
building.
Well, it'd be nice to get a sense of where they are and what they're doing. And this kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, he sent me a blast. I was including a blast email the other day, and so he's got me in this kind of thing where he sends me to a bunch of stuff with folks that folks that he sends to his buddies in in England.
Right.
Yeah.
I've heard
Hey,
about that. It's like a quick fast.
huge compliment, and
Quick fast.
yeah, so that was very nice. Well, that was like on his email, not via YouTube. It's very nice.
Yeah, but I've heard about this blast.
Well, I mean,
It's fast, quick, and
you
momentarily,
make groups. It's like the Partners in Prayer thing I do. It's like I type in the name of the group, Partners in Prayer, and then all 17 or 18 people get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what I've heard is how it's like a momentarily thing. I mean, you really have to be like speed reading and speed typing to answer back and everything, because you only get a momentary moment in time to read and answer back to this person, because it's going to be gone. And if you don't, your message back is not going to make it back to them. So,
Well, by your command on that one.
and a lot of people are bitching about it because they don't like it. Even the yuppies. So,
I cannot speak to that issue. I have a feeling that no, we're here. I think. Are we here?
yeah, we're still here. We're still on.
Oh, yeah, in the black, those
Yeah.
black square silver stone. Yeah.
I gotta go. I don't know about you guys.
Well, I guess maybe we ought to shut up then a little bit.
It's time to go, guys. See you tomorrow.
Well, there's it.
Have a good night.
You've heard it here first. Alrighty. Bye-bye, YouTubers. Joe and Paul here.
Stay away from the fucking brown snakes in Australia.
Well, are any of these things will kill you? Good Lord.